Find it! Find it! It's here somewhere!
Fucking give me a break!
It's too dark. Can't see a thing.
Yes! That's a thing called mouse! Keep looking.
Wait, I think. Aha! I found it!
Finally! Let's get out of here, quickly!
What's going on?
Rarity! I came as soon as I heard. What happened?
Oh, Twilight! It's awful, horrible, dreadful, perhaps even the worst possible thing!
Uh-huh. And that would be...
Why, Twilight? Do I detect skepticism? Well, I shall have you know that last night I became a victim. A tragic, tragic victim. Woe is me! I shall never recover from this injury that's been wrought upon me.
English, Rarity.
I was in the zone, Twilight. But if I must, last night I was stolen from.
Stolen from? What was stolen?
They were stolen, Twilight! Both of them!
Who?
My 2 jewels! True Blue and Opal!
Ahem. Twilight, what Rarity is trying to say is that thieves broke into the Carousel Boutique last night and stole both the True Blue, a large sapphire that she had recently acquired when gem hunting, and Opal, which is her cat.
How could they? How could they? Oh, my poor, poor darling, all alone out there with those ruffians!
I'm gonna go ahead and hope that she was talking about her cat there. What happened? Do you have any idea who did this?
Well, no. I'm afraid we haven't the slightest idea.
Ponyville doesn't really have much of a police force, you see, so we are a little under-equipped to handle something like this. This doesn't happen very often, you know. An investigative team from Canterlot has agreed to look into it, but I'm afraid they won't be here for a few days.
A few days? But the thieves might be long gone by then, and... Wait, is this the same investigative team as last time?
Exactly what happened last time? I can't seem to recall.
The one brought in to investigate the baby that went missing and which ended up being found unharmed in the closet?
Ah, yes, I do recall that, but I'm not sure where you're going with.
The one that somehow managed to implicate Pinkie Pie in a fictional Dragon X smuggling ring?
Well, yes. Yes, that's the one. Think positive, Twilight. They may, perform better this time. Yes, that's the ticket. Well, there's not much for it either way, Twilight. After all, no pony in our town has any experience with this sort of thing. We'll just have to wait it out. Oh, I have so much to do at the moment. I simply can't stay around any longer. We'll get to the bottom of this as soon as that investigative team arrives, Rarity. You have my word.
I'm afraid she's right, you know. We shall simply have to wait it out.
If that investigative team gets their hooves on this case, who knows what ridiculous things they might come up with this time? There has to be a better way. Rarity, I'm on the case.
I beg your pardon, Twilight?
Some pony needs to get to the bottom of this, right? Well, I volunteer. I've had experience investigating crime before, after all.
Twilight, I'm really not sure if that's such a grand idea.
Well, I mean, sure. That particular investigation pretty much involved completely airtight evidence that directly identified the culprits in one go. And it also included an eyewitness who saw almost everything who could lead me exactly to the clues. But it's not like the team from Canterlot will be much better, right?
Forgive me, Twilight, if your words do not inspire a great deal of confidence.
It'll be fine. Don't you worry, Rarity. I'll have this case wrapped up in a jiffy. Mystery novels came through for me then, so surely they'll come through for us again.
Hey!
Gah! Pinky! Where in Equestria did you come from?
Oh, well, I was walking by and I was all, my assistance is needed, and I must fulfill my duty.
Uh-huh. What are you doing?
Helping a pony in need. Duh!
I'm the one who knows something about investigations, not you. Remember what happened last time?
Of course I do, silly. But this time is completely different. I have, wait for it, a walkthrough!
A what?
A walkthrough, silly! For this game, the way things work are completely different than last time. Honestly, sometimes I worry about her.
Pinky, you're talking to some bushes.
Oh, Twilight, I'm not talking to those old things. I'm talking to them, out there! You see what I have to work with here?
You know what? I'm not even going to ask. Just, do your thing, Pinky.
Okie dokie dokie. Well, the first step of any investigation is to move around. You can't find anything if you don't move your little rump to where the clues are. So, to walk places, you first lift your hoof up and move it in front of your other hoof.
Pinky, I'm pretty sure I know how to walk.
Oh, right! But I bet you've never walked like this before. Now, if you want her to walk, well, you just gotta click on the spot you want her to walk to and she goes. Or, if you want her to keep moving, just press and hold and she'll walk towards your cursor.
I'm pretty sure I can walk myself.
Oh, Twilight, don't you worry your pretty little head about the details. They'll figure it out, and that's a pinky promise.
Okay, so now we know how to move. Great, but what about, examining evidence?
Oh, that's simple. If you want to talk to someone or look at something, all you gotta do is click on it. Easy peasy. And that's it.
That's it?
That's it. Well, that's not it, but it's it for now, because the other its come later. You're not ready for those its yet, though. Don't you worry about them.
Okay.
Okie dokie, and I'm off. Bye, Twilight. And I'll see you real soon, too. Catch you later. That was fascinating, was it not?
That's one way to describe it.
But useful, wouldn't you say? Though I must confess, I still do not believe that this is a good idea.
Don't worry, Verity. I'll get to the bottom of this before that investigation team even gets here. A strange star-shaped object? I can't say I know what this is, but it looks out of place, which makes it a clue in my book. Well, it doesn't take a sharp eye to see that these are tire marks, and it doesn't take a sharp wit to figure out that whoever was here probably was the cause of this broken window, too. Is there anything else here? Is this hair?
Hey! How's it going, Twilight?
Gah! Pinky! Where do you keep coming from?
Oh, silly. That's not important. What is important is what you just got there.
It's hair.
It's not just hair. Why, it's a clue. And do you know what every super-duperific investigator does with clues?
Do tell.
They use their big, humongous brains to figure out stuff about him, of course. Jeez, it's like she hasn't even read the walkthrough. All you gotta do is bring up the evidence list, click on a piece of evidence or a profile, then click on Combine With, click on another, then click on Combine. And then your investigative wizardry takes care of the rest, if it can. Sometimes it's a dud, but that's the magic of investigation for you.
Right. I'll get right on that.
Okie dokie Loki. Well, have fun investigating. Me? I've got a cake in the oven, so I'd better get back before the cakes notice I'm gone. Keep an eye on her, okay? Bye!
You know, I suppose there might be a connection between the hair and the tire marks, now that she mentions it. If we assume that this hair is from some animal, then it'd naturally follow that the rider probably swerved here to avoid hitting it, explaining why that pony went towards the window. Except, what animal was it? A pony, perhaps? Rarity, I think we should start with what happened last night.
Of course, darling. What would you like to know?
Could you describe exactly what happened and what you saw?
Well, I'm afraid there isn't much to tell. I was sleeping in my bedroom when suddenly I heard a shrill crash from downstairs. I went downstairs to investigate, and what did I find but my house overturned and ransacked, my prized jewel gone, and my beloved opal essence missing as well. Oh, Opal! Mama's coming soon!
Perhaps I should ask more specifically about what was stolen. And that was everything there is to speak of? You saw nothing else at all?
No, nothing, I'm afraid. So sorry, Twilight.
That sounded awfully suspicious. Rarity, are you hiding something?
Hi!
Ugh! Pinky, what are... Actually, you know what? Never mind. I can guess.
Ooh, can I guess too? Is it a bread box?
Pinky, just get on with it.
Get on with what?
Aren't you here to tell me what to do here?
Nope. Why? What's going on?
Well, for one, I think Rarity's hiding something from me.
Oh, you mean the topic got locked.
The what now?
One sec. Yeah, here it is. Section 2B of the walkthrough. Locked topics.
I really need to have a look sometime at that strange book she's got there.
Okay, you ready for this? And I mean really, really ready?
Yes?
Okay, here goes. The scroll says that sometimes a character won't want to tell you everything. In other words, they're hiding something from you!
Yeah, I think that was established already.
Oh, well, let's see here. It also says that in order to unlock that topic, you need to present a certain piece of evidence. Do you have it?
Maybe?
Nope, I don't think you do.
Are we done now?
Nope. The walkthrough also notes that sometimes you need to present more than one piece of evidence too. If that happens, then the topic of conversation gets locked with as many locks as pieces of evidence you need to present. 2 locks? Well then, you darn well better present 2 pieces of evidence, Buster. And now that's all the walkthrough says.
Alright, well, thanks, Pinky.
Don't mention it. Anything for a friendly friend. See you soon.
I'd suggest a mental asylum, if I wasn't worried about what she would do to it. Could you describe everything that was stolen last night?
Of course. First there was True Blue, a regular hunk of a sapphire that shone in the light like a noonday sky. Oh, whatever shall I do without the light of that jewel in my workshop? Second, there was Opal, my darling Opal. She's been missing since last night too. Now with the jewel I can understand, but what could the thieves possibly want with Opal? It greatly troubles me to think of what might have happened to her. You must find them both, Twilight. Promise me. You must.
I'll I'll do my best, Rarity. I promise. Not just a giant sapphire, but her cat too? What an equestria could that be about? Alright, let's think about this logically here. Hair this color and this length is pretty rare. As far as equestria goes, there really aren't any ponies that it could have come from. In fact, the only creature that I can think of that it could have come from is opalescence. And that would mean that whoever was here swerved and crashed into the window because opalescence was in his or her path. And that would all come together to mean that this broken window likely was an accident. It feels like there's more to this than just that. But it's a start at least. A piece of cloth, red on one side, gold on the other. I think I know what this is from.
Hi!
Ah! Pinky, stop doing that! I'm trying to concentrate here.
Oh, sorry, but I thought you might really like to know this latest thing I found in the walkthrough.
What is it?
Well, if you get a piece of evidence that someone might know about, then after you start talking to them, you can click on Present Evidence, and they'll let you know what they know about it. Pretty neat, huh?
I'm supposed to do what to what now?
Twilight, honestly, what am I gonna do with you? Well, you know what I meant, right? So it'll all work out peachy keen in the end. I just know it!
Way to fill me with confidence, Pinky.
Well, that's all I got. See you around, Twilight. Till next time!
Oh, I remember this little problem.
You do?
Of course! Apple Bloom came by this morning to have this little accident fixed up. She seemed to have ripped her cape during one of her usual excursions. I asked her why she didn't just get Sweetie Belle to fix it up, but she said that Sweetie Belle was very busy today and couldn't spare any time to do so. I really don't know what those fillies are up to, but on the other hoof, perhaps it's better I don't know. I swear, sometimes I don't understand myself. Sweetie Belle absolutely ruins my gold silk, and now here I am, fixing the capes they made with it. I'm an odd sort. Do you think I'm odd, Twilight?
Oh, Rarity. I think you just have a big heart.
Don't remind me, Twilight. Sometimes it can be a bit tiresome.
So this belonged to Apple Bloom, and she had it fixed this morning.
Can you do that for me, Sweetie Belle? At least until this all blows over.
Of course! Leave it to me, Apple Bloom. See ya!
I wonder what those two are talking about. Official Cutie Mark Crusader business, maybe? Might as well have a chat with Apple Bloom while she's here. Hey, Apple Bloom! How's it going with the Cutie Mark Crusaders? Done any, epic quests or crusading lately?
Oh, well, no, actually, not really. See, we're kinda on break.
On break? Since when do the Cutie Mark Crusaders take breaks?
Since, well, recently. I mean, every pony's gotta take a break once in a while, right?
How recently?
Pretty reason?
Why is she avoiding my questions? Something's not right here. Although, now that I think about it, there's one Crusader I haven't heard anything about today. Say, Applebloom. Do you know where Scootaloo's been?
Nowhere. I mean, somewhere. I mean, not here. I mean, I don't know.
So, did you hear about what happened to Rarity last night?
Did I? That was an awful thing that happened to her.
Well, don't worry. I'm on the case. And I promise you that I'll find the one who broke that window and stole from her.
Oh, well, good luck with that. Hope you have real good luck there.
That was an odd response. Applebloom, you wouldn't happen to know anything about what happened, would you?
Huh? Course not. Why would you think I'm not telling you something, huh?
Because you just told me that you're not.
Hold it!
Pinky! What in the world are you doing?
I'm pressing you for information, Buster! Or at least that's what the walkthrough says. I'm not really quite sure how this is supposed to work here.
Another lesson from Professor Pinkie Pie?
Yupperoonie! This time we're talking about interrogations! Are you excited? I'm super duper excited with a strawberry on top!
Don't you mean cherry?
No, I don't really like cherries.
But I mean the whole ride home, with Rarity. Never mind. Let's just get this over with.
Okie dokie dokie! Now, the walkthrough says that interrogations are a super special thing, where you've got to try to wring the truth out of your opponent. And you do this with your mind, Twilight! Your mind! I guess you should have no problem with all that mind you got, huh?
Sure. So, what do I do?
Well, she's about to tell you something that totally isn't true! Well, part of it at least. And it's your job to figure out what that part is! Once you find a statement that doesn't fit with the evidence you have available, you'll want to present that evidence against that statement. Like so! Zam! Powie! Pizzazz!
Can I do it without that last part?
Well, if you want to be boring, sure!
Boring is fine. Boring is great.
Oh, and if you think you need your opponent to talk more about something they said, you can always select Press for Info, and you'll get them to talk, like me! I love talking!
I've noticed.
And that's all for now! But remember, you gotta use pizzazz! Otherwise, you're not a real investigator! The walkthrough says so!
Duly noted.
Jeez! Do something to liven her up a bit, would ya? She's a terrible audience! Anyway, until next time, bye!
I thought she'd never leave. Okay, on with the investigation. Okay, Applebloom. Time to find out what you're hiding. Applebloom, I need to ask you about where you were around the time of the crime.
Huh? How come? I'm not a suspect, am I?
No, I just need to know. Procedure and all. That makes sense, right?
Sure, I guess. I wasn't really doing a whole lot yesterday, to be perfectly honest. Most of my day was spent with Applejack helping her on the farm.
Just a minute. What were you doing on the farm, if you don't mind me asking?
The usual. Applejack and Big Macintosh were bucking the apple trees, and I was helping out with the bucket. I'm a big pony and all, but my bucking legs can't get the job done yet, so I'm still just helping move around the apples they shake loose.
And that's all you were doing?
That's about it.
Alright. How long were you doing that for?
We finished everything up at around 6:30 or 7. I don't remember exactly when it was.
Just a minute. Why can't you remember exactly when it was?
'Cause I was outside. Duh! We ain't all fancy pants ponies with the watches and stuff. That's for Camelot ponies.
That doesn't account for your whole day, though. What about the rest of it?
I had homework to complete for school after that, so I was pretty much just doing that for the rest of the day.
Just a minute. That took up the whole day?
Twa, you have no idea how scary Miss Caroline can be in the classroom.
Do tell.
After Family Appreciation Day, every pony in the whole class had to write an essay on how it's bad to sleep in class and some pony else is talking.
That doesn't seem so bad.
Oh, we didn't. Except for the fact that she wanted us to explain our position on why it's bad and what bad is using classical philosophers' argument as a basis. Jeremy Van Hoof will haunt me to the grave, Twa! To the grave!
This is an elementary school?
I certainly never went anywhere near the Carousel Boutique. No, sorry!
Wait a second. Apple Bloom, I'm afraid to say that I don't think you're being honest with me here.
Huh? Of course I am, Twa. How could you say something like that?
Oh no, I'm not being guilt-tripped this time. I found a scrap of your cape near the bridge to the Carousel Boutique. I know.
Oh, well, that doesn't mean that was left there last night, does it? Why, that was left there a long time ago, Twa.
No, Apple Bloom, I'm afraid that one's not going to fly. I talked to Rarity earlier, and she told me that you had this fixed this morning.
Yeah, but...
Your prized Cutie Mark Crusaders cape. Apple Bloom, come on. You can't tell me that you wouldn't get that fixed as soon as possible.
But it... I mean... All right, you win, Twa. I'm sorry.
It's okay, but please, I need you to tell me what you know. I can't help if I don't know as much as possible. All right, Apple Bloom. Please tell me everything you know about what happened last night.
I can't.
And why not?
'Cause I can't.
Apple Bloom, I think I know why you're not talking. You were trying to protect Scootaloo, aren't you? I haven't heard from her all day, and Rarity said some things about you three that seemed awfully suspicious.
Yeah, you got it, Twa.
Apple Bloom, listen to me. I know your heart is in the right place, but this isn't the right way to protect Scootaloo. There's an investigative team coming in from Canterlot to handle this case. It's very, very important that I have this case closed before they get here.
You don't mean that investigation team, do ya?
I'm afraid I do.
Okay, I get it, Twa. No more hiding, promise. I wasn't being truthful because, well, I was awfully worried about Scootaloo. See, last night, we were rehearsing a comedy routine that we had planned to put on for Rarity's birthday, which is coming up pretty soon. We've been doing that for quite a while now.
Oh, right! Comedy, of course! Great!
Well, yeah, this'll earn all cutie marks for sure! But you can't tell any pony about this, Twa. This is super duper top secret. It won't work if it's not a surprise.
Sure. You can trust me. Cross my heart and hope to fly. Stick a cupcake in my eye.
That a yes?
Yes.
Well, alright then. Anyway, we were practicing in the town square last night like always, and things are going pretty well. We took a break during which time me and Sweetie Belle hung out by the bridge. But I don't know where Scootaloo was at that time, or what she was up to. A short while after that, we heard a sudden loud crash coming from the Carousel Boutique. We didn't know what in tarnation was happening now, so we just watched for a bit to see what was going on. And then a little while after that, some pony ran across the bridge real fast. We didn't get a good look at it, but I'm pretty sure it was Scootaloo, Twi.
What? Oh, no. That can't be right.
Afraid it is, Twi. I didn't know what was going on, but since it seemed like Scootaloo was in trouble, we all figured, well, better not say anything about it. I'm awful sorry I lied to you, Twi.
It's fine, really. You did the right thing in telling me all this. This has been a big help.
Scootaloo's not a thief, Twi. You gotta believe me. You gotta help her. Promise.
I promise on my honor as an investigator that I will clear Scootaloo's name and get to the bottom of this.
Is that something that's valuable?
Let's just say that, yes, I promise. Rarity, I think we should start with what happened last night.
Of course.
Could you...
Well, I went to...
And that was...
No.
That's... Rarity, I hate to say it, but I don't think you're telling me the whole truth here.
Why, darling, whatever do you mean? I dare say I resent your accusation, my dear.
Alright then, let's look at this a different way. How quickly did you come downstairs after you thought something was wrong?
Immediately, of course, but I don't see what relevance that has to anything.
I don't have all the answers here, but neither does Rarity. Maybe I can get her to talk, if I make it seem like I know more than I really do. Rarity, I spoke to Applebloom earlier and learned that she witnessed Scootaloo crashing through your window last night. I also learned that Scootaloo stayed for roughly a minute before leaving the boutique. Now, if you came downstairs immediately after hearing the crash, don't you think you might have seen something?
I mean, that is... I suppose you do have a point.
Thanks, Celestia. It worked.
You are correct, Twilight. I did see Scootaloo last night. I did not know what to make of it, and meant to protect her. I do apologize for not being forthright about it.
I understand, Rarity, but if that investigation team from Canterlot comes here and finds any of that out, what do you think their conclusion is going to be?
You do have a point, I must say.
All right, time to get to the bottom of this. All right, Rarity. Please tell me everything you know about what you saw last night. I can't help if I don't have all the details.
Of course, Twilight. I shall do my best. I finished my work for yesterday earlier than expected, so I had wanted to get my beauty sleep. I had been somewhat deprived, given that a certain client had made several last-minute orders.
Just a minute. Which certain client was this, out of curiosity?
Who else but Sapphire Shores? She gives me such good business. But I don't want to gossip, of course, but my goodness, does that man love jewels, Twilight? Although, I suppose her request was what got me searching for gems, which was what caused me to find True Blue in the first place. It wasn't so bad, all things told. Well, as soon as I get True Blue back, that is. Hint.
Right, so anyway, you had just gone to sleep?
I had finally fallen into a blissful, restful sleep when, all of a sudden, I awoke to the sound of a loud crash coming from the first floor. Well, I was just scared out of my wits at that moment, so I made great haste downstairs to see what in Celestia's name was going on. What I found there was awful, terrible, horrible! The first floor of my boutique, ransacked, ruined, torn apart! Oh, what is a man to do? Worse still, True Blue, my prized jewel, was gone, snatched from my very home. And worst of all, the very first thing I saw when I arrived was an orange and purple pony darting out my door. I cannot explain what I saw any other way than to say that Scootaloo broke the window to my boutique, tore my boutique apart in search for True Blue, and then made off with it.
Wait a second! Rarity, I know that this is going to sound entirely irrelevant, but I think I have a lead on what might have happened to Opalescence. At least, if not True Blue.
Oh, do tell, darling! Although I do admit that I must agree, in that I can't see how this is relevant to what we're discussing here.
I found some white hair right near the tracks outside the window, and judging from their length and color, I don't think there's anyone else they could have come from other than Opalescence. As a result, I think we can reasonably conclude that if those tire marks are from Scootaloo, then it's entirely likely that she crashed through your window completely by accident, not purposefully. She was probably trying to avoid crashing into Opal, which may well have spooked Opal into running away.
Really? But then, that makes things all the more peculiar, because it is still fact that she must have stolen True Blue, no?
Let me ask a very important question before answering that. Do you, by any chance, keep your door locked when you go to sleep at night?
Why, yes, of course I do. But I don't see what that has to do with anything.
One follow-up question then. Do you also bring an Opal from outside when you go to bed?
Of course! The poor dear, I couldn't leave her to fend for herself at night.
Then I think we've established something even more important than the accidental break-in.
Twilight, I must ask that you be more direct, as I am not following one word you're saying.
All right, let's think about the facts of the case thus far. We know that you heard a crash and came downstairs to see Scootaloo quickly leaving your boutique. We can reasonably conclude that she probably was responsible for the broken window. However, we also know that the broken window was likely an accident, and that she had veered off course with her scooter because she was avoiding Opal, who was immediately in front of her path. You just told me, though, that you bring an Opal and lock your door at night, so that raises perhaps the most interesting question of all here. Namely, what was Opal doing outside in the first place? If indeed your door had been locked and had remained that way until Scootaloo left, there would have been no way Opal would have been outside in the first place.
But that would mean that some pony else was in my boutique as well?
Exactly. I think we can reasonably conclude at this point that there at least is the possibility that someone else had entered your boutique before Scootaloo, and that they're the ones who opened the door so that Opal could get out. The question now, though, is who that would be, and that's just what I'm going to find out. Well, this case has certainly turned out to be more interesting than I thought it would be. First, Scootaloo, of all ponies, comes under suspicion, and now we've opened the possibility that some pony else was also at the scene of the crime. Just who was it that came to the boutique before Scootaloo did? I have the feeling that this case is going to get even more interesting from here on out, and I won't rest until I've seen it through to the end.
Thanks so muchly for playing! Come back soon for the whole thing!